Ooh. Welcome back, everybody. I haven't been here for a week. Oh my gosh. Too much construction going on in my house, too many issues. And yesterday I was all ready for a show, and I go outside and somebody had ransacked my car.
Oh no.
Yes, they didn't damage it. I don't carry anything valuable in my car. And anyway, I guess John said, "Well, we won't know what we're missing till we need it." But I don't think they took anything. But
Yeah.
so it goes. And so I didn't do yesterday. I was too shook up, actually, to tell the truth. I was just shook up about it. So anyway, Jimmy, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Louis C.K. is a comedian, and he's got a bit about being grateful. And a lot of the stuff I've been reading the last 2 weeks or so, videos I've been watching, Tony Robbins, all these guys, they all talk about gratitude. And Louis C.K. said, I'm on an airplane, and the flight attendant comes on and says, we have high speed internet now, and it's free. It's just so you just plug in. So he's on the internet, he's doing his stuff, and the guy next to him is on his internet, he's doing stuff, and then the internet goes out, and the flight attendant comes on and she says, "Oh, I'm so sorry. The internet went out," and the guy next to him is getting a real attitude. He says, "Wait a minute. You're in a chair in the air. You're flying, and you're worried about you're flying. Everybody on the plane should be going, 'Yay, we're flying, we're flying.'" And he said, "Be grateful." It was fun, just a funny bit.
That's a good one. That's a good one. There
You
were.
have a car that they could. You have a car that they could ransack. That's what I'm telling you. You have a car.
I have a car. Yeah, it just shook me up. You kind of feel violated, and I didn't.
Sure.
Anyway, so Tom Ferry tells a story about two people, same exact street, same exact school. They get into their career. One becomes wildly successful, and the other one struggles totally. Why? Well, it's because the meaning that we attach to what happens to us. And so, Jimmy, you probably heard this story before, like the man who's an alcoholic, who has two children, and later on in life, in their 30s, when you ask them both, do you drink? And the one guy says, "I drink every day. I'm an alcoholic." Why? Well, because my dad's an alcoholic. And the other one says, "I don't drink at all." Why? Well, because my dad's an alcoholic. And it's the world famous tale of two. We struggle when we look at we struggle when we look at two people, same exact street, same exact school. They get into their career. One becomes wildly successful. The other one totally struggles. Why? Well, it's because the meaning that we attach to what happens to us, just like you were saying. I know people who say cancer was a gift. It got me to stop and realize that I was doing terrible things to my body.
Wow.
And I know you probably freak out, but imagine that same person saying cancer is the end of my life versus cancer was a gift.
Right.
And it got me to make a lot of changes in my life as I saw my parents die of cancer. I didn't want to die that way.
Right.
So I chose a different path. And things happen every day in life. And every single day, the question is, what is the meaning in the story that you attach to? And the thing that
why you tell me to eat my vegetables? Is this why you tell me to eat my vegetables? Eat your vegetables, man.
And stop eating sugar. Did I say that?
You did. I didn't hear you, though. You did say it, but I didn't hear it.
Well, the one thing that I know, that people are the most determined, have the most certainty, have the most positivity, are moving totally powerfully. And we all deal with crisis, upset, and challenges. And the difference is, again, the meaning we associate to it and the story we tell ourselves. Is it the end or is it the beginning? It's your life. It's your story. You decide. So, Jimmy, what's going on with the market? What are we deciding?
We decided we've hit the reset that we've been looking for some time. We have twice as much inventory now as we did on the market 6 months ago, when everybody's saying there's no inventory. There's no inventory. Well, you can be grateful because now there's some inventory.
Yes, we have 60 days of inventory in our zip codes in the Las Vegas Valley.
Now that's at this sales rate. If the sales rate increases, then the days of inventory goes down, because it's based on how many houses versus how many sell per month. So there's some numbers there that can get kind of screwy. But the point is, everybody's complaining, no inventory, quit complaining, go sell a house.
Well, I take the high rises, the condos, the single family homes and the townhomes, and I get 7,561 available properties available, not under contract, not pending, none of that stuff. And then I divide it by the number of homes we sold last month per day, which was 124. And that's how I get the 60. Now, so far this month, we've sold 508 homes, which is 73 per day, but that will change. That goes up as the month, hopefully, as the month gets older. And last July, same time period, we were selling 104 a day. So that's about 31 a day difference. So anyway, the one number that has changed this month and part of last month was the investors. They've slowed down.
Interesting.
Yeah,
I'm surprised.
I am too. Yeah. In fact, I was so concerned that maybe I was wrong. I went in and I looked at them, did it a different way to see if I was doing something wrong, or, sometimes the MLS changes their criteria, but no, it's true. We've only sold 172 so far this month. And that's only 37 a day. So it was up to 45, I think, at one time.
Did you say 172?
Yes.
In 7 days?
Yes.
That's 25 a day.
Or 25 a day, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Year to date, we're averaging 37. Sorry. Thank you. See? Okay.
No,
thank you for that.
37 down to 25, that's a significant drop off, as you said, which is what you said.
Yeah.
Whatever the numbers are, it's significant. And, and Buffini's mid-year thing, he said, Lawrence Unit expects us to be down 13% in units as a nation. And I'm thinking Vegas is going to be down 25% in units, but prices are up 24%. So if your prices went up 24% and you're doing 25% less deals, you still might make the same money as long as you're getting the right deals.
Correct. And speaking of that, the top 3 producers right now in Las Vegas, in Clark County, are the iBuyer platforms. They've done 1,734 sides this month.
This year.
Yes. Did I say this? Yes.
You said this year.
Yes, thank you.
So 1,700
okay.
this year. That's okay.
Okay.
So it's basically 200 a month. That's what that comes out to. Is there's 7 months, 1,800. It's a couple hundred a month. They're buying a couple hundred.
So if you go and you look at the number 10th person, so the first 3 are doing 1,734. The 10th person has done 142. That's a huge gap.
Well, if you add those 3 together, 1,700, that's about 600 each, roughly 600 each.
Yeah.
So from 600 down to 1, it is 450 gap. Yeah.
Yeah, they're doing 9% of our market, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's nothing that we didn't expect. So.
Well, and look how hard they're working to get that percentage. I get a postcard or an email or a letter every week at least. Let's make it easy for you to sell your house. Let's make it easy for you to sell your house. So they're buying stuff before it goes on the market.
Yeah. Farm database plan. Farm database plan. If you have a farm and you're connected to qualified relationships, you will do business. Otherwise, these guys are going after us big time. And we know that. Jimmy, did you get the letter that I sent you, the home builders letter?
I'm sure I did. Yes, I
sent it. So Andrew was on vacation.
Okay.
And he has a new system. So he says, for some reason, I didn't get it. He wrote me a really nice email. You'll see it in your emails. I sent it either last night or this morning.
Okay.
So, yeah. But I wanted to make a note about that and about what I have here. The LVR, this is how they determine their stats. And they use the Clark County, Nye County, Lincoln County, White Pine counties, because when I read the paper and it said, that the median price of the house has gone down, it hasn't gone down what they said unless you use these counties, which I don't do. I go, just so everybody knows, we really haven't gone down. We're still up there at 482, 485. So we'll see what happens as time marches on. I know there's been a lot of price reductions. There's a lot of homes on the market. So I would anticipate that it's going to go down. But for our zip code areas in the Las Vegas Valley, it hasn't. The median price, just so everybody knows. And so I don't do what they do to their stats. And I think that the home builders, I think that Andrew, let me put this back up here. I think Andrew uses those counties as well because he supplies LVR with a lot of data. But this is the one sheet that I think you like, that on the home builders letter, and I'm going to post it in the group. You know, and it compares the new homes by area, and building permits are down significantly, by the way. And the new home sales, this shows, let me see if I can, I've got it here. Can't read that. So this is saying that May 2022 saw new home building permits remain flat. We've adjusted our March 2022 total after an audit, and the overall yearly permit total now sits slightly ahead of the same point in 2021. So that was up through March, but now that's going down. The permits are going down. You'll read that in the letter. And he's saying the resale median closing prices once again set new records in May. We went up to 485. The overall resale median closing price comes in just 8% below that for new homes. So they're catching up to each other.
Well, and I think part of that is the reason that when you're building new homes on 4,000 square foot lots or 3,000 square foot lots, and I can buy a resale home, it's an older home, but at least it's got a 6,000 or 7,000 foot lot. I'm not reaching out and touch my neighbor. And I think the lot size is part of what makes people make the decision to not go new and just go with resale.
Yeah, I know. I see those skinny lots and it's like, oh, it's, I grew up poor and my grandmother's house had a basement where the kitchen was and the furnace room was and the dining room was. Then you went up the steps to where the parlor was and I forget what the living room and the parlor. So there was 2 rooms on the second floor. Then you go up the steps and there was a bathroom and 2 bedrooms, but it was skinny, you know. Right. You've heard me tell the story about how I went across to my cousin's house. But anyway, $400 she paid for that house.
Oh my goodness. That I've never heard.
$400 she paid for that house. And she was a product, of course, in those days of the Depression. And her husband got electrocuted. They paid my grandmother $40,000 right after the Depression. Wow. And so my mother was able to go to medical school. Wow. Yeah. So anyway, $400, that was the main point.
Yeah. Well, that's a nice settlement. They gave her a good settlement. She could do something with it.
Yes. And she did. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, so, yes, the numbers are changing. We don't know what's going to happen in the market exactly, but we have to be prepared. And the other day when you were on the show, were you on the show when I did the landing pages, which was a little bit wonky? Were you there that day?
I've been absent for a few days, so I'm not sure.
Okay. So we had talked about doing 6 different strategies for listings, and let me get to there. So we did the Instagram hyperlap reels, and then we did the geo-targeted landing pages. That's what I did the other day. So today I just want to mention, skip through here to tip number 3, which won't take much time, and that's Facebook Marketplace. And people can message you for more information or to schedule a tour of the home that you're putting on the marketplace. So it's easy to interact, very easy to interact with the exact people that are, they're messaging you, which is what I like. They're reaching out to you for that particular home. And if you create the listing in the marketplace through your business page, which I think we've taught this, maybe not, on Facebook, you can go to your ads manager and create custom audiences to retarget people who looked at the listing. So these people are looking at a listing because they're possibly potential buyers or sellers.
Well, Well,
And
and if they look at listings in two other sources, they're going to get sent to somebody else, not you. That's the power of this. They
yes,
come to you.
exactly. You're exactly right on. And you continue to interact with those potential buyers and facilitate dialogue, right, with those potential sellers too. Because, a seller becomes a buyer, right? They're looking at that home for some reason. And then you can do something very similar on Craigslist. Now, Craigslist doesn't have the fancy ads manager, but you can still message. People can still message you, and you can still communicate with them. So today's conversation is all about marketing listings in a way that will help to build a pipeline of future business, and you've got to do that. We talked about the Instagram reels and doing the hyperlapse of your listing, and then we talked about creating the landing page with the address of your listing, and you can put that all over the internet, LinkedIn, Instagram, do it on reels, on TikTok. We're going to talk about TikTok next week, but there's so many strategies for you to show that you have value. And we talked about that the other day, I think, when you were on. You have to have a value proposition. And your value, the number one thing most people want to know is, how are you going to sell my house? Mm-hmm. What makes you different? Why should I choose you? Mm-hmm. And there's several different strategies you can use. I just watched Tom Ferry and Carolyn Geiser, I believe her name is. She has 70 laminated slides, 70 laminated 8.5 by 11 sheets of paper that she uses to do her presentation. And part of those slides, the major part of those slides, is her marketing. So then then she just starts filling out the listing,
Right.
And then they say, well, I'm going to interview somebody else. And she's like, why? You think somebody else is going to do this for you? Yeah, but the person that was here yesterday also was going to reduce their commission. And she says, well, I'm not. I'm going to sell your house, and I'm going to put money into selling it, and I'm going to get paid back by my commission that you're going to pay me. So there's no reducing my commission, because I can't reduce your marketing or I won't sell your house. And I'm telling you, I can sell your house. And then she keeps writing. She just keeps writing. And, you just have to be forceful in a pleasant way, but you have to be able to have a value proposition. And that's the main thing. And if you don't have a farm yet, everybody, you have to get a farm. And Buffini, let's see, let me find my Buffini letter here. Buffini has this intro letter, Jimmy, and this is how you can start your farm. You can say, I'd like to take a moment of your time to introduce a complimentary service I provide for all my clients. My client appreciation program is part of the commitment I have made to run my business exclusively by referral. And every month I'll be sending you information that I believe you'll be finding very useful. So the first piece explains how my decision to work by referral benefits you. And it allows me to devote my time and energy to meeting the needs of my clients. There are a number of ways that I can be a valuable resource to you, such as providing market updates, referring other reputable professionals when you need them, and such as a business directory. I will make a constant effort to provide you with excellent service, because in my business, the most profound assets I possess are your respect and trust. Feel free to call if you need anything at all. I am always here to help. That is a wonderfully written letter. Mm-hmm. And I don't like all of Buffini's letters, just telling you, because I change a lot of them when I send out the items of value that we do. But this, I think, is very well written. And then, come on, work mouse here. And then this is what I send with it, why I work by referral. And it explains very clearly, it makes sense to people why you work by referral. Mm-hmm. And why they would possibly want to work for you. And then the next item of value that you can send is something like this, that shows, I like to send something that shows, that I'm on top of things. Mm-hmm. And this is the Smart Home Trends for 2022. And it's a 2-page flyer. And part of it's about keeping your home secure. And then the other part is about the trends for the smart homes. And so once they get the first letter, they see why you work by referral, Then they get your second letter next month and they see this. Believe me, they start to pay attention and you start to become top of mind. I can't tell you how many people in our community have said, nobody has been this consistent. Nobody sends us things except about real estate. You send us things that are useful. And I've had people call me. They say, I don't want to sell my home, but I'm so grateful. And this one woman did really use that word. I'm very grateful for the information that you share with us. And that was actually, she did that last Thanksgiving, actually. So I thought that was timely.
Yeah, great time to do it, for sure.
These things work, everybody. You have to plan. You have to know how much money you want to make and how many deals it's going to take to make that money and how many calls you have to make those deals. And then you farm and you put everything in a system like the Buffini system. We use a lot of Tom Ferry things, like the things I shared with you, the 6 tips for listing strategies. I got those from Tom Ferry, but this comes from Brian Buffini. And so I try to combine the best of both worlds for everybody. And then we have you.
Well, and you listen to Jason Pantana, who's he's a guru. The guy's really smart about marketing. And I know sometimes you listen to Grant Cardone and different trainers. So you're listening to everybody. And I try to do that too. Dave Ramsey had a 16-minute video out the other day. And 3 weeks ago, it might be 4 weeks now, he came out with a video. Why is now not a good time to wait buying a house? It's a 7-minute and 51-second video. And I'll send you the link or whatever, and you can put it up on the page, because it's short enough that an agent can watch it and then say, you know what, I picked 5 of my friends to send this to. Can you give me your thoughts on what Dave Ramsey? Because most people recognize that name, and most people understand that as far as finances go, guy's pretty sharp.
Yes. Yeah. Oh my gosh, he really is.
And it just came out. It's less than a month old at this point.
Oh, I would love the link. That would be fantastic if you would please send it to me. That would be really good. And I don't know. There's so much to talk about today. Today you're having the class on the purchase agreement.
Correct.
Yeah. So that's always good. And in these times, in these times of, I don't know, trying to write that purchase agreement, because I think you have sellers that still think their house is worth more than it is. And you have buyers that think that the payment's going to be more now. So they need to live in that payment, so they don't offer as much. So it's going to be a little tricky for a while.
Well, and
the sellers realize that they're going to have to come down.
Like you said, the evidence we bring to the table now is different than what we brought before. And the class is called Writing and Presenting the Offer. And a lot of people forget the first one you have to present that offer to in a way that it will be accepted is the listing agent.
Yeah, right.
Because you might not ever get in front of that seller. So what is the evidence you're giving the listing agent to take with them on the presentation to show why the seller should not make a mistake and not take this offer? You got to convince the listing agent first, because you're probably not going to be in front of the seller.
Right, exactly. Even though, well, if the seller doesn't want you to, you can't, but legally we can.
Right. The rules are they're supposed to allow us.
Yeah. But anyway, those were the good old days.
When I came up here today, I think the speed limit's 45. Nobody got the memo, because traffic was not going 45, even though that's the rules, even though there's a big sign out there that says, so we got to work with the real world. Yeah,
we do. And then Jimmy, you put together this class on property management. And I'm so anxious. I haven't actually watched it yet, but I'm so anxious for the class on Monday. And it'll be interesting. It's going to be interesting because it's brand new and it's new material. And you have actually interviewed veteran property managers, right?
I interviewed 5 veteran. I called like 10. 5 of them never even returned my call. So what does that tell you? And I called some really high profile property managers in town. If I gave you the names, they'd be embarrassed if they didn't call me back. But the 5 that did go on, I Zoomed the call. I took the videos. This is a 3-hour class. An hour of it is listening to these top veterans and what they have to say about how they got there and what they're doing and things that they've learned, how they got there, what they're doing and things they've learned. That's what it's all about. And I was surprised the real estate division would approve, because it's an hour of video interspersed throughout the 3 hours.
Well, I think that's good news to me, that and it's probably a lot of Antonio realizing that the world is changing and people people want to see video. They learn
Well,
from video.
and I did try this class out once. 2/3 of my class were not property managers. They were taking it for the general. And when the class was over, they came up and said, this was really good information. I'm not a property manager, but this was really good. I got more compliments on this class than anything I've offered for the last year.
That's incredible. I can't wait. So yeah, I started marketing it yesterday, so we'll see.
Okay.
Yeah. Hopefully we get the same turnout of people, not just property managers, because, property managers, the owners do sell their homes, and it's a little different because the owner thinks that they're bound by, and they are, in my opinion, bound by their agreement with us. So when an offer comes on their house and all of a sudden somebody wants the security deposit before it closes, most owners don't want to do that. They say, no, when it closes, I'll send it to you.
Right.
And yeah. And I think that they have a point. I think, why should I commit to giving you my money and do it before it closes? I'll do it after it closes. And the other thing is, a lot of times, it happens in the middle of the month and the rent just came in and things have to be prorated and property management fees have to be paid. And, and there's bills that haven't come in yet on the property. So there's a lot of moving parts to property management that I think a lot of agents who aren't property managers don't realize, just because, not because of any other reason other than they're not property managers and they're not managing properties.
Right.
Any other thoughts?
No, I brought you that book, The Answer by John Assaraf.
Oh, thank you.
It came out in 2008. So the information is now 14 years old, but there's some things in there that are timeless principles. And there's some things in there that I'm thinking, man, has the world changed in the last 14 years? We've come a long way, baby, in the last 14 years. But the book's still worth reading, I think. So
super. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I'm learning to speed read like you. Well, you have to keep up with all this great information out there.
Yeah. And it really is coming from all angles.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Health, wealth, and wisdom.
Health, wealth. Right. Okay. Well, Jimmy, we have class 11 to 2 today.
Okay. I'll see you when you get here. I'm
yes,
here.
You're there. I can see you're there. I heard Kane earlier.
Yep. He's rolling around the room. Okay. I'll see you when you get here.
One thing, if you need something to do in the meantime, we need to decide about the Buffini class we're going to have.
Okay. I'll be ready when you get here.
I sent you an email, just something to consider. Kane and I were thinking we'll do the first half, you do the second half, or if you want to do it differently.
No, that's great. I think that's great. That gets people, you don't have to change the location every week. Look here, just come here for 8 weeks or 6 weeks or whatever, and then go there for 6 weeks. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Okay. And also we're doing a crypto class, a free crypto class next, the 20th. Kane will correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's the 20th from 11:30 to 1 with a free lunch. Great. And it's going to be Zoom and live. So yeah.
So we'll get a recording. We'll get a recording if you can't make the class. Zoom. Okay. Awesome.
Yeah, and it's all about blockchain and how you use blockchain in real estate and what is blockchain. A lot of people, there's a lot of moving parts to blockchain people don't realize. Right. Jimmy, thank you so much for showing up today, and everybody have a fabulous weekend. If we don't see you in class today, hopefully we'll see you in class on Monday.
Yep, I'll see you shortly.
Right.
There's Kane.
Bye, Kane. Hi, darling.